On today's ChurchTechCast.com screencast show, heavy-duty text editing in ProPresenter 5. The Church TechCast screencast show and all the other ChurchTechCast.com network shows are generously supported by viewers like you. Head over to patreon.com/Paul Allen Cliff. That's patreon.com/PaulAlanClif and help support the show. Okay, so let's say, for example, that it's the last minute before a service and there's a change made. Your worship leader wants to sing, I don't know, A Mighty Fortress is Our God, and you don't have it in the library. So the question is, how do you go about getting a song into the library very quickly, and how do you go about formatting it and making it so you can access each individual verse very quickly? And if they say, let's do verse 1 again, then you can do that. So let me show you how I would go about doing it. So first, let's find those lyrics. So let me transition over to the video screen here. Okay, so here we are in ProPresenter 5. Again, this isn't the full screen, but it's most of it. And so first thing I need to do is I need to find the lyrics. Now, probably the best way to find lyrics is to import them from Song Select. But A Mighty Fortress is Our God is a public domain song, so you shouldn't even need to do that. So what I did was I went to Google and I typed in A Mighty Fortress is Our God lyrics, and it brought me up to this site up here. This is hymn site, HYMNSITE.com, and it actually brought me up to this page, which could use some work formatting wise. But when I scrolled down, I found this link down here that says text file. I clicked it and it took me to this. And I thought, oh, this is perfect. So what I did was I did Command S for save because I'm on a Mac. And it brought up this dialog box that it's about to do, and I changed the name. So you'll actually see right here, grayed out, it says amightyfortress.txt. That's what I saved it as. So I'm going to just minimize that so that we don't go through that. And now next I went to File, which is right up here, just outside where you can see File, Import, Import File. So I did that, and now it takes me here, and I know that it is amightyfortress.txt. So I'm going to open that. And I've got some options. Now, I can do a line break. That'll do one line at a time, and that's too few. Or I can do a paragraph break, but a paragraph break is too many. So let me err on the side of too many line breaks, and what I can do is I can go down here and I can select the default template that I want to bring this in as. So I'm going to choose Frankfurt Worship because I used to lead the video guys in our Frankfurt campus, and just select that, and destination. I can make a new playlist, the selected playlist, or just put it in the library. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the selected playlist, which is the current one that's over here, that's up. And right below here, you can't actually see it. Here, let me scoot it up so you can. It says Import. So I'm going to click Import. Now it's going to bring that up. And you'll see, here, I'll just put it on the background, that is really confusing. That's a lot of lines. I recommend you never do more than 4, and it looks like we've got 9. So that's way too much. Let's see if we can't tweak this just a little bit. Oh, and it also says number 1 right here because that's how it delimited the text. So first, this is just something, I've never used this feature before, but I saw someone using it and I said, well, that seems like a good idea for a screencast. File, Reflow Presentation. So I'm going to click on that. And what I can do is I can edit while I'm here and get rid of these numbers that I don't need. There are 4 verses, so you can see over here. Oops. Overdid that. So basically what I'm doing is getting rid of these numbers. And this is going to make this one big old long slide, and that's okay. It's not exactly what I want. But, so what I'm going to do is first I'm going to click up here, this little down arrow, and there is group label. What I want to do is I want to add verse 1. So right now everything is on verse 1. So I'm going to start going through here, and down here, let me raise this up again. You can't actually see it. Let me try and shrink it so you can. There you go. Okay, it says insert slide break. So I put my cursor where I want the next slide to begin, and bam, new slide. And I'll continue on doing that. And you'll notice that these are all blue, indicating that they are part of verse 1. Well, now I'm on verse 2, so I'm going to insert a slide break, but then I'm going to go right here, new group, verse 2. Boom. So now I am on verse 2. Again, insert a slide break. Insert a slide break. Now this isn't going to work if your worship leader announces it and you have no clue what it is. This is more of a you've got 5 minutes before the service kind of fixed, as opposed to a you have 30 seconds. If you have 30 seconds, hope it's in the library. If you don't, if you have more than that, then like 5 minutes, then you might be able to do this. So I'm just going to continue on doing this. So you get the gist. I did not add a new verse thing for this, which I should do. So you'll notice that it does everything below that. So now I can add for verse 4, which I had to add. That's down here. You can't actually see it. But so I'm going to leave verse 4 as is right now. But you can see how I've done that. Now up here I can type in the artist or the author. This is Martin Luther, not to be confused with Martin Luther King Jr., who was named after Martin Luther. And copyright, this is actually public domain, meaning we can do whatever we want to it. So the display copyright and everything, I can put that in or not, whatever I want. And here, if I'd forgotten to change the template, let me bring that over so that you can see it. There is this template button, so I can go back and let's say that I needed to use the Christmas version. Well, I can do that. and that changes it just a bit. Or I can change it back to the regular worship one. So that is kind of the fast way to do that. Now you might be thinking, well, that seems kind of not so fast. Why am I putting in verse and chorus? We're just going to go through it one at a time anyway. Okay. I can see your hesitancy, so let's first you need to actually save that. So I'm going to save it. Okay, so now you see that we've got it here, verse 1, and then the color changes with verse 2, which is nice because when the worship leader is singing, if they start singing a verse you don't expect them to sing, so let's say they're singing verse 1, a mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing. And then they, after that, instead of singing verse 2, which starts, did we in our own strength confide, our striving would be losing, instead, the worship leader skips to verse 3. And though this world with devils filled should threaten to undo us. So instead of looking through all these green ones, you can look at the very first of each of the verses, or, you could, assuming that this was formatted, that word above the earthly powers, no thanks to them abideth. So you can really quickly read through and see which is the one that's being sung at the current time. But that's not the only advantage here. If we click on this doohickey right here, which I think, no, let's see here. So if you click on this guy right here, you can change the arrangement. So you'll notice we've got 4 things here. So what if you've got it all formatted, but the worship leader says, hey, this service we're only going to do verse 1. Hold on. Add new arrangement. Sorry, let's see here. Let's do it just by the date here. It's 2014, April 22nd. Okay. So the worship leader says we're only going to do verse 1, 2, and 4. No problem. See, there's a little X that pops up here, and so you can click that. And that changes the arrangement. So you only have verse 1, 2, and 4. Now, if afterwards he goes, that was great, but what I'd really love to do is I'd love to go back to verse 1. Oh, no problem. You just drag verse 1 down. And now you have verse 1, 2, 4, and verse 1 again. So you can do some pretty sophisticated things. If there's an arrangement that's the beginning of the service, longer arrangement, then you can play that. And then if there's another one that's like for the end where they just do a shortened version, you can make that arrangement. So you can do some pretty cool stuff pretty quickly while leaving the original untouched. So you can either go to the master arrangement, which you'll notice has verse 3, or this one, which you'll notice does not. So that's right here where this would have been. So I hope that that helps you. I hope that that helps perhaps even smooth things over with the worship leader, as sometimes they have a vision in their mind that it's hard to get out, and there's nothing worse than when you arrive on Sunday morning and you start the service and they're singing something totally different than you have, and people are looking at you like you made a mistake, but in fact it was just a communication issue. So I really hope that you'll embrace formatting all your songs using the Reflow slide feature so that you have the ability to do this real quick where you can change the arrangement. and you'll notice here that it has the arrangement that I have actually chosen. You'll notice I actually created one in advance when I was practicing, and I just did verse 1, and I didn't do the work on verse 2, 3, and 4, and so this could be a totally different song, and you'll notice there's no other arrangement here. But if we go back to this new one that you saw me do, and I click on this guy, then we see that there are different arrangements, and I can either do the 140422 arrangement or the master arrangement. I could call those long, short, extra verse, whatever makes sense to me. Or if my worship leader is famous for never doing it twice, maybe the date is appropriate. So whatever helps you. I hope that just using the software as it was designed by someone who actually does this will help you as you're going out and changing eternity. Until next time, I'm Paul Allen Clifford with TrinityDigitalMedia.com.